Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Bakar, and currently I am doing a job with Dr. Malik Awais. Dr. Awais. I am currently a research assistant and also master student as well. So in this lecture, we will learn about the basics of Python. First, we will start from basics. Then we will start functions and all libraries that are used for artificial intelligence like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. And then we will learn the advanced libraries like sklearn that we will be using for the rest of our course. So let's start from Python. Python is high-level programming language. That means which is very close to we have basically two types of languages in programming. One is high level and the second one is low level languages. Assembly languages like C++, those are the low level languages, and the Python is high level languages. High level languages mean that human can easily read them. And one other advantage of Python is that it has simple syntax that we can easily understand. So first, I will tell you about how you can download and set up Python on your computer. First of all, you need to go on your browser and you will write Python, and you need to download the Python latest version, which is 3.12. Let me just show you how can you download Python. And then if you have downloaded Python, then you will download the Visual Studio Code. Let me show you this here. From this website, you can download the Visual Studio Code and set up on your PC. I'll later share recording tutorial on this. How can you set up Visual Studio Code? But for the time being, what we can do is that we can use online Python compilers. Like if you have Google account, then you can use Google Colab, and there are other options as well. Online compilers available that you can easily use. The one advantages of using Google Colab is that you don't have manually install the libraries. Most of the Python packages that are used for the machine learning or artificial intelligence are already installed in it. So we will start from basic variables. Except like in Python, there are variables, integers, floats, and um, integers, float, string types. Let me just show you how can we write a simple program. We will start from the hello world program. In Python, print statement is used to show something on the screen. Let's- So here just we can easily run this and output will be shown here. Now I will create basic variable, like I will start from integers, then float and string. We can define any variable by just giving name to it, and let's suppose I will give value to integer 45, and then we can use print statement to print any value on the screen. So this will print 45. You can show the output of variable. Also, we can check the variable type by writing type and then integer's name, variable name, which is integer. So it will show first value, and then we can also see the type of the variable as well. Next, we have floats. So I will initialize variable float variable. Let's for and I will give value to float 4.5, and then I will use print statement to okay. So here you can show you that variables value is printed, which is 4.5, and then also you can check the variable type as well. And then there are other variables as well in Python, which we will use. Like we can also there is variable called we call Boolean type variable. So I will initialize variable let's suppose bool, and this variable has basically two types of value, true or false. And let's suppose I write here true, and then I will print this. So here you can see the output of this variable. If you have any question so far, you can ask by opening your speaker, or you can write in chat as well. Okay, great. And the next step, a basic syntax rule like here.
Lokar,
I,
there is a Dina is asking that PyCharm and Anaconda. So that can
yeah,
also,
you can use PyCharm and Anaconda as well,
yeah.
but I'll suggest you should go for Visual Studio Code, which is simpler. And if you have already installed PyCharm and Anaconda, you can also use that one. Later, I'll suggest you should use Anaconda because later in this course. But first, I think you for the practice, yes, you can use online compiler as well. And by today night, I'll make tutorial on how to install PyCharm, and I will also record tutorial on Anaconda as well. So don't worry, you can use Anaconda as well if you have already installed. Okay, so here we have basics variable like I have shown to you, and here we can also initialize strings, which takes strings and float variable and my list type of variable. Now let me show you the list. How can we initialize the list? Let's suppose I'll give list name, and then we initialize values. Let's suppose 0, 13, 15, 19, and 20. I'll use print statement to show the list value. Okay, it will show all the values in list. Similarly, we can check any value there, any specific index. Let's suppose I want to check the value at index number 2. So I'll just write print my list, and let's suppose I want to check the value at index number 2. Simply I will write 2 here. So 15 will be printed because indexing in Python or any other programming language starts from 0. We will have 0 value at 0 index, then 1, and then 13 at 1 index, and 15 at 2. And similarly, we can add any other value in list by using just add function. Let's no, it will give error. Okay, and then we use slicing. Let's suppose we want to show the values from 0 index to 2 index. For that, we can use, let's suppose this one here. And I want to show all the values from 0 index to 3. And simply write 0 to 3, and all the values from 0 to 3 will be shown here, 0, 13, and 15. Okay, then we have a list, and for that we have common data types like dictionary, set. We can also initialize set, which take basically all the unique values. So here, let me just initialize set variable and 0, 3, 8. Let me set variable. Okay, all the values in set will be shown here, and one unique thing about set is that they take unique values. Let's suppose if we have copies of value, this will, let's initialize this, and I add multiple time eights, and then print this set variable 1. So you can see that only unique value will be shown and the redundant value will be discarded. Okay, if you have any questions so far, then please let me know. Okay, perfect. We Next we have input and output modules. like we can give inputs from take input from the user element, which input function is used to take the inputs from the users. Let me show you how we can. So first we will initialize variable here. Let's suppose I call it var variable and then input. And I'll say please enter value. Okay. So now this statement will be used to take the inputs from the user. If I run this, this will give me a prompt and I will enter the value, and now 4 will be assigned to this variable. Let me just show you by printing variable. Now this will print 4. Yes, you can see the input function is used to take the values from the user. Okay, let me just recap what we have learned so far. First, I told you about the basic variables like integer, float, Boolean type integers, and then we have list as well in Python and dictionaries, sets, and then there is input function, which is used to take the input from the user. And later on this input variable, we can perform any other operations as well. Okay, input. Then we have a conditional statement, if else, so and loop as well. So let me just write a simple program for you how we can use if else statement in this. Okay, I'll write program which will take input from the users, which we call variable, and let's suppose play input number, and I will declare if statement and say if variable 1 is less than, is greater than 0, so print positive number, and else let's check this one. Analysis one. Okay, I'll say this is end. And so here it says it is positive number because we have entered value 4. And why I have written here int, because the value which we are taking input from the user is basically integer. So if we don't initialize here int, it will by default be string. So we cannot compare basically string with zero. That's why it's generated the error. So let me run it again and enter negative number. Let's suppose I is negative one. So it will say negative number. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, perfect. After if and else statement, then we have a for loops and a while loops. And now I will initialize. Let's go on. Let me copy this code first. Okay. And how we can initialize for loop? Let's go. Let's go. Here I specify the starting index and then ending index. So let's then let me just run this. So this function for loop has printed value of 15 time hello, because we are starting from 0 till 15. Let's suppose if I change the values from 15 to 5, it will print hello 5 times. Okay, perfect. So by default, in step size in for loop is 1, and we can also change step size as well. Let's suppose if I specify a 2, so it will print 3 times hello, which means for 0 index, it will print hello, then we'll skip for 1, then at index number 2, it will print hello, and then skip for index 4, and we'll print hello at index 5. And similarly, we can perform operation on this variable as well. Let's suppose I write print variable 1. Now this will print 0 to 4 values, and I suppose initialize variable here, which is equal to which is sum, and I have given value to 0. Okay, and let's suppose this is sum is equal to variable sum plus variable one. And at the end of loop, I print variable sum. So anyone, can you tell what this variable will print? The sum variable.
Firstly, he will print 0, 2, and 6.
Okay, let me just run and it printed 6. Can you identify how this variable is printing 6?
He do this function 3 times. The last one is 6 because 2 plus 4.
Ah,
The,
exactly.
the last two elements,
Exactly
2 and
0
4.
plus 2, 0 plus 2 plus 4. And
Yeah,
if we eliminate step size from here, now can you identify what will this print? It will sum all the values from 0 to 4. That's which is 10. Okay, perfect. You can see basically variables value here. Let me just write print statement and variable one value here. Okay. As you can see, 0 will be added to 1, 1 plus 2, 3, and then 3 plus 3, 6, and then 4. So 10 will be printed here. Okay, if you have any question, please let me know. And then after this, we will start about the while loop. Okay, perfect. So while loop have similar syntax, but we don't specify the end index here. And let me just write code of while loop. So here I initialize variable. That's variable. We can say variable 2 and give it value 5, and then initialize while variable 2 is less than 10. So print hello. And we also increment the variable by 1. Okay. Yes. Okay, this is printed hello for 5 times. Can you see the logic behind it? How this is printing hello for 5 times? Please, uh, if you have any question, you can write in chat or you can write its while loop logic that how is this printing hello for 5 times in the chat. Basically, it will print first hello. We have variable value 5, variable 2 value is 5. And at the beginning, this will print hello at 1 time, then we will increment 1 in this. Now for the second time, the variable 2 will have value 6 and will print hello for 6, then for 7, for 8, for 9. And for 10, the condition will be false. So nothing will be printed and while loop will be terminated. Any questions so far? Yeah. Now I'll take small 5-minute breaks and I'll have one exercise for you. Please read this, understand, and you can write if you want to write a code in online compiler. You can use Google Colab or any other online compiler, or you can write this program logic in chat as well. So you have 5-minute breaks. Please think about this exercise and write your code on paper or in chat, or you can use any online compiler as well. I'll show the output as well, but first try yourself. Okay, I hope everyone of you have give it a try. And let me just show you the solution. Okay, the logic behind this is that first of all, we'll initialize for loop for the values 1 to 50 because we have 1 to 50 values, and we check if number is divisible by 3 or 5, then we print this statement is bus, and this statement is used to check else if this condition is not true, then this statement will be checked. So if number is only divisible by 3, so phase will be printed, and if the number is only divisible by 5, bus will be printed, else the number itself, which is I, will be printed. So I hope this clears a little bit. But you can try after the class, this exercise after the class as well. And I'll upload homework as well about the Python, which will be basically about the basic as functions, for loops, and then it will cover NumPy and pandas, which I'll cover later in this class. Okay, so now start functions. Basically, basic syntax of function, we defined function by defining the function's name here, and we here specifies the parameter which it will take. So let me just write a code for you for the basic function here. Okay. And let's suppose we want to add two numbers, and I initialize the function add numbers. Okay. It will take two variables as input. Let's suppose A and B. And function has return values as well. So this A plus B will be returned. We will call in variable. Now let's call this function. Okay. I initialize one variable here, results, and call this function which is add numbers. Okay. And I'll pass values to this function. Suppose 4, 6. And I print the result. Okay. This function. Okay, if you got semicolon here, column here, so 10 will be printed here. Similarly, we can define any function for square as well, which will take one number basically. Let's suppose we give it to value square, and which will take only one value A, and for square we can simply write return A multiplied by A. A. So now this will return the square of number, and let me just call this function. First, initialize the variable result, and And let's suppose I give it a value of 5. And I print this result. So you can see 25 will be printed here. Similarly, you can write any other function as well. The basic syntax that I have taught to you is using this, you can write any other complex function as well. And now let's move for, if you have any question, so please let me know. Please, if you have any question, you can write in the chat. Okay, perfect. Then we have a list as well that I have already taught to you. So we can have a list of, let me just write a list code. Okay. We have, I think, initialize the list here. Okay. So let me just copy this and this is my list value. And so we can append any value in this list by just using say my list dot append 41. So this will add the value 41 and let me print this again. Okay. 41 will be added at the end of it. Similarly, we can remove any values from the list as well. My list dot for remove, we can use remove function. And we want to remove, let's put 19 values. So let me just print my list. So you can see here 19 will be removed from the list. Similarly, I already taught you how can you print and value at specific index. My list of 0, so 0 will be printed. Okay. Okay. And then next we have tuples. The list are basically mutable, which means that we can add or remove any values in the list, but the tuple are immutable. Immutable means that we cannot add any values in after we have initialized the tuple variable. So we cannot add or remove any value after that. So let me just write code for tuples. Let's for say tuple 1 and they give value 1 2 And I run this command. And similarly, we can check any value at any specific index as well. I want to check value at, suppose, tuple 1 at index, let's suppose 2. So at index 2, we have 4. 4 will be printed here. And then next we have dictionaries. In dictionaries, we have values in key value format. First, we write key, then its value, and we can access any value by its key. Let me just show you the example how we can create dictionaries in the Python. Let's suppose I am creating dictionary here of persons, and the first we will specify the key and then its value for key. Let's suppose this is name, and I write in the then we will use comma here, and that's suppose I write the key is age, and its value will be, let's suppose, 21. And if I print this person dictionary, okay, name and age will be printed, and also we can use any key to access the values as well. Let's suppose we want to check the person name. So simply we can write here, and here I'll write the key, which is name, and it's for to print this person name. So Vakar will be printed here. Okay, perfect. Then we have sets. I already showed you demo of the sets. Let me just give you the basic info about what the adds and remove do. Here I initialize set 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and print set 1. So all the values in set will be printed, and let's suppose I say set 1 dot add 5. So, and let me print this again after updating the value of set. Now the values will be updated. Similarly, we can remove the value as well by just remove, and if we print it again, so 5 will be removed from there. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, perfect. If you don't have any question, so here is exercise for you. You can give it a try in just 4 to 5 minutes, and then we'll move toward some advanced libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. So please give it a try. This is very simple program, basically a calculator which is used for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'm showing you the solution here, and you can give it a try after the class as well. Basically, we will have four functions, one for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Then in the main function from the user, we will take two variables like number one, number two, and which operation user want to perform. And let's suppose user want to perform a plus, then we will call the plus function, which is addition function. And similarly, if user want to perform subtraction, then we will call the subtraction function. And now you have a basic idea how can you complete this. So I think we should move forward. Okay. Let's start from the NumPy. I'll show you in the code that how can you initialize, import NumPy, and then perform operation on any variables. So let me just write code for NumPy. Okay. First of all, we will import NumPy. Import statement is used to import any packages in the Python. And let's say I call it as np, and I initialize a variable which is array, and then we call it np dot array, and I get values 1, 2, 3, and print my array. So all the values in this arrays will be printed. Similarly, we have a range function in NumPy as well. Let's suppose we call it np dot range, and I give it value, let's suppose from 1 to 10. And what this function will do, it will print the values from 0 to from 1 to 10. Okay, np dot range. Oh, so I think it's error here. We can so the list will be initialized with values from 1 to 9. And then we have functions of zeros as well. Let me do arrays, and we call it nps dot zeros. So let me print this. So array of size 3 having values zeros will be initialized, and we can check. Similarly, we have ones as well. So if we want to initialize all values with ones, we can just, so you can see all the values with one will be initialized there. And if we want to initialize any uh, list with the some specific range, like we say from 0 to 1, and initialize array with random 5 value. For that, we have a function line space. And I will say from 0 to 1, initialize 5 random values. And this is really the error. I don't know. Oh, sorry. I basically forgot NP here. So now you can see 5 values will be printed here. And then similarly, we have a random function as well in NumPy, which is, let's put array and NP, I call it random dot rand, and we make the value is 5. So array having size 5 with different random values will be initialized. You can see here. Okay. Then we have a min and max values function as well. Let's suppose I want to check minimum value from the array, and let me min variable, and we have array and min. So from this array, the minimum values will be printed. And let me put this so you can see the minimum values will be printed here. Similarly, we have a different any other functions as well, like median, and we can check mod as well. Mm, let's suppose I want to check median. So I simply write the median dot array and median. So median will be printed here. Okay, any questions so far? Please, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Okay, perfect. Now let's move forward. I'll tell you about some more function of NumPy, and then we will move toward the pandas library. Now I initialize, let's use array np. We have also written code for it, so I'll just copy and paste it on here. Array one. And we call it array one. And then and I give it a value of 4, 5, and 6. And if I want to perform add operation on this, so I'll just write np dot we have a function add, which will take basically two values, array one and array two. And so one will be added to 4, 2, and 5, and then 3 and 6. Similarly, you can also give it a try to function like we have a function for subtract and subtraction, also for division as well. Then you can give try to do multiplication function. We have square root function as well. Then we can perform a log operation on array. We can check standard deviation as well. So I'll share the cheat sheet with you, which will basically cover all the function, and the one homework that I'll upload most probably tomorrow or after tomorrow, which will be covering all the basics of NumPy as well. So here, if you have any questions, please let me know. Then I'll move towards pandas libraries. Okay, perfect. So now move towards pandas library. We import pandas by writing this statement import, and then as PD. So pandas will be imported here. So now let me just initialize simple data frame, and we call it let's call name, and I give it a random values. Let's name one, name two, and name three. And then there is variable for age. And that's and 25. And then we have one more variable, which is for city. And we give it the values. City one. And then 23. Okay, here simple data frame is initialized here, and now let me just call it. Let's suppose D and PD dot. We convert this into data frame. And so, now print TF. So you can see that data frame having three columns like name, age, and cities. We printed at it will be having three values like name one, name two, name three. And then in the pandas, we have functions in head, which basically print the first five values by default, and we can also change its argument to one if we so now it will print the base first line of this data frame. Okay. So you can see first line will be printed here, and if we change this to 2, now we'll be having first two rows. Similarly, we have a function for tail as well. Which by default prints the last 5 rows of data. If we specify very argument here one, so last line will be printed with name 3. So you can see that this line will be printed. Okay, then similarly we have functions for data set info, which will yes, and now this will print the info about the data set. So you can see that we have three variables like name, age, city, and here the data types are specified, like name is a text, then age is integer, and city is also object. Then here we check if there is a null value, it will be printed here. Oh, so we basically don't have any null value here. So that's why saying non-null. But that means we don't have any null value in any variables. Similarly, we have function for data.describe as well. we have only one numeric variable, so give only info about it. It basically gives only info about the numerics column, so only the age is printed. You can see that count is 3 and then mean is 30, standard deviation and all other variables. Okay, then we have functions. Let's suppose we only want to check about the name info, that what is in the name. So let's go. Only name will be printed. Similarly, we can check for the shipping and age as well. Also, we can filter the sum rows as well if we want to check the column with the age, greater than 30. So I will write and age is greater than 30. So you can see that 130 value will be printed here. Also in pandas we have drop function as well. Then for data cleaning we have functions like fill and which will basically fill the missing value with 0. We specify basically a variable and tell and that if you want to fill the missing value with 0, mean or mod, and that function will fill the values on the basis of the parameter that we give to it. And then similarly, we have functions for group by as well. And I'll now move towards the matplotlib. In the homework, I'll include a little bit more complex functions on pandas that you can try on yourself. So matplotlib is basically library that used for visualization purposes. So it is used to draw bar chart, line chart, any other graphs. So first, let me import the matplotlib. Dot pyplot as TLD, and then I initialize two arrays. Values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and why I initialize values 2, 4, 3, 5, 7, and let's suppose 11. And here we create basic plot variable by using plt.plot. Okay, and we give it two variable x, y, and we can give it some additional parameters as well, like marker. And also there is one variable for line style as well. Here we give it a title. Let's go line plot. And then plot dot x labels, which is basically x-axis. And plot of y label. Which is and then at the end we show plot dot. This will show the plot here. This written some average and marking and what is direct. Okay, so there is typing mistake. And plot of X labels. And I think we have. Okay. Now you can see that on X axis we have X values and then line plot is there. Similarly, we can also check, we can use bar chart. We have a bar chart function as well. Let me write simple code for bar chart as well. I initialize one variable with categories and give it to values. Let's go A, B, and C. Then values. Four, 7, 1. Let's give it 4, 1, 1. And the bar. Then give it categories and other variable values. Okay. And title. Bar chart. And let's go plot dot show. So there you can see that simple bar chart will be printed. Okay, if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Do you have any question so far? Okay, perfect. And then, sir, should we move forward or stop here because we don't have much time? Only we have one library like advanced that is used for machine learning and sklearn. We can record a demo and later we can share with them as well.
Yes, I think we. So we can do that. You can simply give them the names of those libraries now, and then maybe a handout can be shared, and they can actually look into those libraries. And if they have any questions, they can always like contact, right? So maybe you can give some names or some places to look at. That should be fine, I guess. We don't have time for a complete tutorial now.
So I'll share this notebook as well and some advanced libraries name, and maybe I can record a little bit session on that as well for sklearn and then any other library like some matrices that are used in machine learning. Then we have some advanced libraries for neural network like TensorFlow as well. I can surely record a demo on that as well. But first, I'll suggest you should try homework on that we will upload most probably tomorrow. And if you complete that, then I'll surely record a demo on TensorFlow, like and sklearn, and I'll share with you, and we can have other ungraded and ungraded homework on TensorFlow and sklearn as well.